Hey, what's going on, everyone? I just wanted to hop on real quick and talk about the same thing everybody else in America is talking about right now, and that is Neon Deion Prime Time Sanders taking his talents from Jackson, Mississippi to Boulder, Colorado. Two completely different worlds, two completely different environments, two completely different situations, two completely different universities. He's going from making approximately $300,000 a year, which he has donated half of that, $300K, to making approximately $5.9 million a year. And you know what's funny? The funny thing is that there's a lot of people right now that are bashing that gentleman for his decision. Now, let's talk about it really from the standpoint of what's that buzzword that people always talk about, those buzzwords, the buzz phrase is generational wealth. You know, people who are pocket watching others, that's what we do in society. We pocket watch others. You know, we see stories of people like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, the guys from ESPN 30 for 30 broke. If you make $500 million, if you make $200 million, if you make $10 million, you know, Adrian Peterson, these guys go broke, especially in the NFL. A lot of people go broke. So you might think that these guys have created generational wealth for themselves and their families and their heirs, when in actuality, they have not necessarily done so. So you have the situation with Deion, and nobody knows what Deion's pockets look like. Nobody knows if he's struggling or if he's okay. I have always been under the impression with Prime that he was very, very, very financially secure. Now, I could be 100% wrong. He could have been on the brink of bankruptcy. Who knows? Like, none of us know until we hear about people filing for bankruptcy. So we don't know what Prime does with his money. But I personally think that he is set and secure. Now, I don't, you know, does he have a $10 million net worth? Does he have a $100 million net worth? Who knows? But I find it difficult that anybody, regardless of what we feel about, you know, him turning his back on the kids at Jackson State or selling out HBCUs or using HBCUs for a stepping stone, I find it difficult to believe that somebody would turn down a $5 million per year job to remain at a $300,000 a year job that essentially became a $150,000 a year job. Now, the fact that he was donating $150,000 a year, to me, shows that it wasn't necessarily about the money. Like, you're not giving up $150,000 a year if you are struggling. So I think he's very well off. I also think that the $5.9 million a year is going to benefit him and his family in the long term. Now, I will also say this. I've always said that when you have these athletes who might hold out, like they don't want to sign with one team because that team is going to offer them $30 million a year, but they want $31 million a year or $35 million a year, whatever that may be. I always say, man, if you can't survive on $30 million a year, you're not going to survive on $35 million a year if you're just not that disciplined, you know? So kind of in that same vein, I think that if Prime Time is worth, let's say Prime had a $10 million net worth, or let's even say $20 million net worth, and he increased his income from $300,000 to almost $6 million. That's huge. That's astronomical, because you're looking at basically per year about 33, 34%, 35% of your net worth that you'll be making in your new position. Now, if you have a $500 million or a, you know, $200 million net worth or something like that, I think it's easier to make a social statement or social stance, to take that social stance or political or whatever you want to do. I think it would be easier if you're just rolling in dough like that to just make a stand and say, hey, I'm gonna turn this money down and I'm really gonna continue to turn HBCUs into like the thing, you know, into the thing, and continue to fight the power, continue to fight the system. But I think ultimately, regardless of what we think about what he did, first of all, he had to make a decision for him and his family, and I can't hate the man for that, right? Now, do I believe that the responses to his decision are crabs in a barrel? I don't like the divisive commentary around this whole situation. I think the man made a decision for himself, and I support his decision. I also, at the same time, understand why people would feel disappointed that they feel he sold a bill of goods in order to get the position he's in now at Colorado. They thought that he kind of sold out Jackson State. And I could understand why people are upset, but at the end of the day, he needs to do what he feels is right for his family. I don't want anybody pocket watching me and my job. I don't want anybody, judging me for the decisions I make, because I'm personally going to make decisions based on my career as well, whether it's me staying at my current position or seeking greener pastures that pay better money, But he did, I think, the best thing that he felt he had to do. And one thing that has been lost on people is that I think he maximized what he had to do at Jackson State. He did what he had to do. Like, he even said it, the longer you stay around, you're going to end up getting fired anyway. So he set these unreal expectations. The bar is now set so high at Jackson State that it would be difficult for him to meet those expectations every year. So he'd have to go almost undefeated every year in order to have a successful season. He set those expectations. So he is he could have been a victim of his own success by turning the program around and setting the expectations so high. He couldn't really do much more. So he did what he had to do, and he got HBCUs on the map. Now their light has been shed. Hopefully they'll be able to replace him with a viable coach, and then they will continue to get recruits at Jackson State. I'm an HBCU alum, Bethune-Cookman University, Bethune-Cookman College, when I actually graduated in 2005, and I support it all day, every day. I support HBCUs all day, every day. I hope that program continues to be successful even upon Deion prime time's departure, and I think they will be. But I just want to salute Deion. I want to congratulate him for, getting the bag, and hopefully he will now be able to impact more lives than he would have been able to impact had he stayed had he stayed at JSU. I think with the money now, he can. So hopefully he will do that. Whatever he does with his money, that's on him. I'm not expecting everybody to be philanthropic like LeBron James or anything like that. Philanthropic, I got it. But hopefully he does what he feels is the right thing, and hopefully our community benefits from his move. But hey, I appreciate you guys. It's kind of long-winded, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and whether you support him or not, let me know in the comments. Y'all take care.